What if I told you feeding your mind positive affirmations or negative thoughts will grow in abundance in your subconscious? How would you then go about talking to yourself every day? This is chapter 4, Autosuggestion, the third step towards riches. Welcome back to another episode of ABH, a book high, your virtual book club. As I said in the intro, this is chapter 4, Autosuggestion. If you missed chapter 3, chapter 2, or chapter 1, feel free to subscribe to the channel and catch up. I'll put a link up there, I believe, to chapter 3. Quick recap on chapter 3 was mainly talking about faith. That chapter would either propel someone to want to gain more information with that new viewpoint, or it could have turned someone off to not continue. To me, it's one of those chapters that's either you're going to take in what they're saying and go, or be skeptical and kind of be like, not for me. So I definitely suggest reading that chapter in its entirety and, coming to your own conclusion. But that was the previous chapter. Now we're on chapter 4 talking about autosuggestion. So let's get started. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reach one's mind through the 5 senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between the part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive, is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. No thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion. Let's say that again. No thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion, with the exception of thoughts picked up from the ether. Stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the 5 senses are stopped by the conscious thinking mind and may be either passed on to the subconscious mind or rejected at will. Dominating negative or positive thoughts that remain in the conscious mind. So what I'm taking from this is whether it's positive or whether it's negative, the thoughts that you allow to dominate your mind can eventually enter your subconscious mind. Now, of course, reading this book, I said in every video, like, obviously life be lifing, right? So it's easy for someone who's in a comfortable position to say, hey man, just speak positivity into your mind, right? It's very easy for someone whose life is deemed going good to believe in these beliefs, right? I would say my life is going good, but I say that in the context of what I believe is good and not comparing my life to others, right? So I don't think that I'm doing great because statistics shows. It's just that's the outlook I'm going to have on life, right? And mentally, it takes a while to, that's something practice. That's something from this book and previous books I read where you just create an idea where you can call it delusion. Like obviously I have issues and problems that I have to address every day like everyone else. And like, I don't sit there and be like, don't know how these bills are going to get paid. I'm sure it's going to, like, no, I understand that. But like overall, I just don't allow myself to stress or be down about things. And that's through practice, right? For autosuggestion, the same thing is if you want to, control or create your reality, then it starts with what the seeds that you're planting in your mind, what's going to grow, right? If you're one of those people that you just feel like you can't catch a break, you're unlucky, you were born into situations out of your control financially, from horrible families. Like there are things out of our control that we can't control, right? It's tough to look that person in the face and go, you gotta believe, because I've been on all ends of the spectrum. Trust me, as small as it may be or as small as it may seem, magnify the small good things that happen, right? So let's say if 99% of your day is trash, but that 1% of your day, whatever it is you look forward to doing, that's the only thing that brings you peace. That's the only thing that cheers you up. Magnify that 1% and try to make that 2%, 20%, whatever that is, right? That's just a suggestion, right? Obviously, not knowing circumstances and not walking in someone's shoes, like that could fall on deaf ears. But I'm just saying, if it's just eating ice cream, eat ice cream every day. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you got to suspend certain things to focus on getting yourself back on track. So if you love ice cream and ice cream makes you the happiest person on earth, it just makes you at peace, and then you're trying to like lose weight, I would just say like hold off on losing weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, or try to lose weight while eating ice cream. But ice cream needs to become the priority, is what I'm getting from that. And then they say no thought, whether positive or negative, can enter the subconscious mind without autosuggestion. What is autosuggestion? The influencing of one's own attitude, behavior, or physical condition by mental processes other than conscious thought. Autosuggestion means you are literally talking to yourself. Whatever you think or talk about goes into a phase of your mind, the subconscious area of your brain. Using autosuggestion, you consciously plant ideas in your mind, which in turn believes them on an unconscious level. So you're planning. I will get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I will monetize my channel. I will make enough money content creating in other branches of the tree from this content to not have to work a 9 to 5 and be my own boss in a sense. I will. You just keep saying all that stuff. You just keep saying it. That's what it's saying in simple terms. It's planning the ideas constantly, filling it up. That's the autosuggestion. You plant that, and then it goes to your subconscious, and then you believe it on an unconscious level. It's just not even. It turns into a physical form. It shows itself. You receive it. The laws of attraction, right? Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or, by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into the rich garden of the mind. Literally just said that starting. So one of the things that I feel like stands out in this book, or these first couple of chapters we read in this chapter, let me put this down. It's saying positive or negative. And I think people need to understand that. I think it's something I came to understand. I didn't before. And I think you need to understand this is we only think about when we're doing the actions of the positive, right? When we're like, all right, I'm going to lock in now and I'm going to say this, that, and meditate and all that. And which is great, but understand the same goes with the negative. And if you sat and really thought about it, you find yourself in your head saying more negative things than you would say positive out loud, right? And that goes back to that quote, we're our biggest critics. And I think that ties into like we're constantly like, you look in the mirror like, oh, why your hair like that? Why you look fat? Oh my God, your clothes, look at this. Oh, look at your teeth. Like, think about how effortlessly you do that day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and then compare that to currently how much positive stuff you throw in, right? Just think about that. Just sit on it. That would make you start to understand this book, and especially this chapter more. Like, if I had to write a list, and just I would say a challenge for the next 24 hours, the next day, try to recognize when you're doing what we normally do is critiquing ourselves. Write it down, and then compare that to how often you're giving yourself the love and the positive affirmations within that same day. I'm willing to bet, and this is coming from my own self previously, that it's going to be drastic, right? That's just how we're currently wired. It's not on purpose. It's not whatever, but like what you want to do, right, is then shift that. Is to where you're not even thinking and you're just constantly positive. Right? Anytime I brush my teeth, I just smile in the mirror. Like, what's up, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? My hair could be rough. I could have sleep in my eye and even brush my teeth yet. I was like, I'm going to look at myself the same way when I'm fully dressed and got everything on or whatever. I'm going to look at myself the same way when I wake up in the morning. It's just going to, you know what I'm saying? It's just shifting, like little shifts like that. Like, don't accept yourself when you're all dressed up. Accept yourself from the beginning of the day to the end. That's just one way I believe that works for me, that worked for me, that got me to this point of understanding, like, it's the small things. It's not the big, bring me my job, it's like, it's the little small things. Once you start just satisfying yourself, I believe that's the beginning stage to understanding, like, okay, this is how I'm going to build myself up and get myself out of this negative, overly critiquing mindset. And don't get it twisted. We still have to check ourselves, right? I'm not saying be delusional. Like, yeah, if I'm doing dumb shit, if I'm being lazy, if I'm procrastinating, if I'm gaining weight and not taking care of myself, like, there's things you still want to check yourself on. That's okay. We're just talking about those little, just every day, you're so dumb, you're so stupid. No, it's like all those little things we know, you know, and I know that we tell ourselves, You just cut that out and do the opposite. You're the best. You're the shit. Whatever. Don't give a fuck. And then I thought this was interesting because it's stuff that I would do or I felt this before without reading this book. So a lot of things I like about this book too is that I've kind of stumbled upon doing things for myself that just worked. I'm like, wow, I like how this feels, and I've done it, only to read and be like, oh, this is like, for someone that did a lot of research, this is done on purpose. Things I did on mistakes is actually a set of rules in a sense. So that's always interesting to me. This says, your subconscious mind recognizes and acts upon only thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. It's basically telling you to embody it, to feel it. And I'm one of those people, you know, you say Virgo or whatever, I'm always up here, never turns off. I have vivid imagination. I can like put myself somewhere. I can feel something. I can smell something. I can taste something. A lot of my dreams that I've accomplished, when I start off, I have dreams or I have what they would call manifestations or autosuggestions of me winning. And like, I would put myself in a place and feel it. Like people cheering, yeah, like getting my YouTube plaque or like looking at my data and seeing thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like I can be like, and walking around like as a successful content. What does that feel like? What would I wear? How would I carry my, like I was doing this before the books. Little did I know this is autosuggestion, this is manifestation, but like, that's just my natural thing. So when they say the emotion, I was like, I get that. Like you have to see yourself there. You have to feel it. You have to feel the excitement. Like basically, let's say you're a painter and one day you want to be able to have your paintings in those fancy museums. I don't know anything about the painting community, but the art community, but in a museum where the rich people from all over are just bidding on your paint, 20 million, 30 million, right? Let's just say, right? So an example of that would be, okay, well, you're that artist. Let's sit. What would that feel like? What would that day be? Where would it be? What venue would it be? What's an important venue in the art place where it's like you had that in that gallery? Okay, I'm there. Okay, what's the outfit would I wear? Like, would I buy something? Would it be linen? Would it be white? Would it be jean? Would it be, okay, a cologne? Would I get my hair cut? Would I wear a hat? All right, cool. So I'm talking to people. What's that like? Like, okay. Oh, yeah, no, congratulations. Yeah, like basically what went through my mind, like, man, this started in my room and like, you're giving your stories. Everybody's wanting to know, and then you're sitting there somewhere. Am I gonna be in the back? Yeah, I want to be in the cut. I don't want to be. I don't want the attention. I'm gonna sit in the back, and you just see people, 40 million, 50 million, and how would that make me feel? If like my life is literally changing, as people be like, oh my god, I'm about to be like the dopest artist of all time. Like Jay-Z's buying my art, Beyonce, like whatever, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would that make me feel? And then you get lost in that, and it's like, how would that feel knowing like, oh shit, like you look at your bank, like obviously it won't be 40 million, but whatever, right? It's like, oh my god, like I have life-changing money, I can take care of my family. How would that make you feel? Would you be happy about that? Would you be encouraged? That's the mixed emotion. That's, you want to put yourself there. It's almost like, or no, like the conspiracy theories where it's like the world pixelates as you like place the attention on it. You ever heard that theory? Like it's nothing until you're creating the space. I can't go anywhere that I've never seen or imagined, right? But if you start putting yourself in a place and researching and constantly thinking about it and putting yourself there, at minimum, you at least have like half of the job done. You know the outfit you're gonna wear, your hairstyle, you know where it's gonna be, what the weather's gonna be like. So then when it comes to trying to get it done, it's like, okay, well, at least I know like most of the stuff now, I just gotta do the work. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to do all this work and not know what to do with it. Here's another great example, right? It just hit me. When you get fear, like, oh my God, when you pit in your stomach, it's like, what if I fail? What if, I've performed on stage like that not like, oh my God, they're going to call my name. Like that emotion with those thoughts can make you feel away, right? You're like, oh my God, like I'm nervous, I'm depressed, I'm sad. So then take happy emotions. Like, what if I go in here and rock the crowd? And they start saying every word. And I win first place. I've never thought about, like, I'm thinking about that. I've never thought of those things when I was about to perform on stage. I performed like 3 times. I've never been back there waiting. Like, you about to kill this shit. Like, it was all, don't forget your lyrics. If you stumble, oh my God, like, okay, relax. Like, it was never just like, you about to kill it. And I'm like, I think now, like, what if I had that mindset then? Like, I'm about to kill this shit. It's dope. Like, they gonna go crazy. Even if they didn't, but like, You know what I'm saying? Like putting that emotion out. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will get no appreciable results until you learn to reach subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been well emotionalized with belief. The price of ability to influence your subconscious mind is everlasting persistence in applying the principles described here. So consistency is key. Right? I have two big pictures on my wall. Discipline, consistency. Consistency is key. You have to continue to do it. You have to continue to practice. You have to get better. It's crazy to me how when it comes to dreams and like things outside of the brainwashing work or school, people can't apply the same thing. If you get a job, you have to go every day. You have to be great every day to get, like, let's say if you're temp to full time. And let's say you're a 1 promoted to a 2, to a 3, to a super. Like, you can't have off days. You can, but like if you really going for it, you're gonna come to work every day, bust your ass, and go above and beyond to impress who you need to impress to get to where you need to get, right? Same thing with school. You can have off days, but like if you really want to be great, 4.0, whatever the case may be, you're gonna show up every day. You're not gonna miss a class. You're gonna study. So why is it that when it's time to do these things, right? Manifestation, autosuggestion, dreaming, you think it's like a genie, like one wish. No. You got to show up every day, manifest. You got to show up every day using autosuggestion, talking to yourself, positive affirmations, speeches, whatever practices from whatever book you get. It could be this one, whatever. But you have to be persistent, and you have to do it in a way of trying to get better and not as just something I'm supposed to do to get rich, right? You have to be persistent, consistent. You have to do it every day, try to get better, try to get smarter. It's the same thing. And that's kind of like my mindset. Like, okay, I've been taught to apply all this consistency and all this discipline, all this hard work to the system. Now I'm going to take all that because it's got me far enough. I can pay my bills and whatnot. But now I'm going to take that, apply it to something I believe in. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Take that same mindset, apply it to something you believe in. Show up every day. Work hard. Go above and beyond. If it works in one spot, why wouldn't it work in the other? All right. So again, this chapter was short. I'm going to keep saying it whenever I think about it just because, I'm building a channel. I don't read this word from word. I've already read the book. I've highlighted what I took from it. I go back to it and kind of put it all together to make a nice piece of content, just to put visibility on the book, just to put you on. But feel free to read the book in its entirety. Take what you want from it. We can share, we can debate, whatever the case may be. I just want people to read and help themselves while they're at it. So this was chapter 4, Autosuggestion. Appreciate y'all listening. Feel free, like I say, to go catch up on chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I got a playlist, ABH, on the YouTube. You can subscribe, watch Julian. But yeah, feel free to subscribe and follow. And I'll see y'all on chapter 5. Chapter 5 is specialized knowledge. So that would be the next chapter. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace out.